我是社交光谱莱特，那么我们继续蓝图解码 2.0 之旅。本次这节课，泰勒讲了关于长期关系，讲了自己的过去，讲了前女友，讲了自己的情感史，讲了自己失恋的心态，还有无所畏惧的心态。我感觉这是泰勒这么多年沉淀的一个结果，也是让我们了解到一个不一样大师顿悟之后对于一个情感的一个理解。
So how do you feel right now as far as release and merging into it? Okay? So it's always hilarious for me to watch some aspirational YouTuber or social media influencer or speaker. Watching public speakers for me is just watching people that are so awkward, they don't know what they're doing, and they're trying to do it from their control muscle. So they're up in front of the crowd like, hey guys, okay, so I'm the expert. Here's what we're going to learn today. Oh, right, this is going to be super cool. You know, it's like the funniest thing for me to watch. It's like watching people trying to date or socialize. It's just like watching this complete dumpster fire. So, well, we want to get really funny. When I teach you what you're going to learn about marketing, you know, in the next few days, particularly Saturday, but in the next few days, you're going to see how most people are marketing, and it's just like a face palm. It is so bad watching people market, particularly social media influencers who use PayPal or Subscribestar or services like that, and they just beg people to go to their Subscribestar, like, or their PayPal. They're like, okay, guys, to keep this going, I just need you to give me a donation. Like, really, bro? A call to action should be yielding major dollars. A call to action shouldn't be begging. Like, to keep this going, guys, to keep the seminar going, I just need you to send in like $20 a month, and then it's gonna be okay. That's not a call to action. That's like, you know, if you're trying to get better at dating and you walk up to someone who you're attracted to and you're like, look, really lonely, it needs attention. To keep this going, you need to, you know, like, it's like, come on. You're not gonna convince anybody with anything that way. So, yeah, so, you know, so I'll show you how to trigger that desire, to trigger that movement, and so on and so forth. It also comes down to having something great to offer too, but I'm going to show you how to present that in a way that's going to be really taking the focus off yourself, right? When you're begging for a donation, who's it about? You. You've got to make it about the other person. When you're in your head, who's it about? You. When you're in your body, you're just sharing. And that's why people pay more attention. Because why would people pay more attention to you freely expressing than you being in your head? If you think about it, what's so wrong with just speaking from your head? What's wrong with that? It's still the same communication. Why is it such a big deal? Why is one energetically compelling and the other, there's sort of a wall that goes up to where you don't want to hear it? What's going on there? Simple. In human existence or in any animal life, every single biological entity is in effect wanting to suck from the other biological entities. Look at a fish movie, right? Like Blue Planet. Go look at Planet Earth. What are all the animals doing in the jungle? They're consistently eating each other. You know, the vegetation is getting energy out of the soil, out of the sun. Then some animal comes and eats that. There's even animals that want to eat you. I mean, think about this. There's viruses, little microscopic little viruses and parasites and bacteria that are trying to overtake your body right now and kill you. You know the main reason we reproduce? Do you even know? It's because bad little entities learn how to get into our bodies. So we need to keep reconstituting ourselves in your kid, your grandkid, your great-grandkid, and on and on and on, so that the little invaders don't learn how to get in your body. It's like an arms race. It's this continual arms race. There's literally microscopic things like on the chair right now that are trying to burrow its way in, like into your hand. You scratch your nose, now it's going into your nose, and it's trying to multiply and replicate inside there. And other human beings are doing the same thing to you. Now, something amazing is when you can find a win-win. Part of human evolution is that we can find win-wins with each other. That's the really powerful thing, right? Like, say you come to an event like this. My goal is to get energy from you in the form of payment. Your goal is to get energy from me in the form of instruction or in the form of status if you get to brag to your friends that you came to the event. But, because that's great marketing right there, by the way. If you could raise the perceived status of it, that's very powerful. So, A win-win is where I could get paid, and then you can go and get an ROI in this. My goal the entire time I'm teaching you is I've got to get you an ROI to where you make more money, so that when you make more money, you'll take my next event. I got to get it where you're like, man, after I took that, my income shot up. So now I want to go to get more income, right? That's called a win-win, okay? Say that you have, a mom of your kids or a dad of your kids, and you create new life together, and that brings you a lot of joy and enjoyment, and it creates the next generation. That's a win-win. So we can be in a win-win, but at the same time, there's also all this coming at you that's a win-lose. Funny side note that I'll mention to you. In my dating life, as I've gotten older, one thing I've gotten to be really good at is just to let in the good energy and to completely filter any bad energy from anyone I'm dating. It's the craziest. If you watch it, it's actually comedic to watch. Because whenever I'm dating somebody, I understand that they're going to give me good energy in the form of physical intimacy. They're going to give me good energy in the forms of emotional fulfillment, in terms of joy, joking around, having fun. But I also know they're probably going to unload their drama on me, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Right? And also, admit it, you've also unloaded your drama onto other people. And if you're going to say no, then that means that you're the worst offender. It's always like, I've never done that. That means that person's the worst. If I were to talk to someone, like, have you ever given drama to your, to your ex? They're like, never. I'm like, keep away from me then, because I know you're completely delusional and denial, which means you're probably worse at it. So literally, I'll be hanging out with somebody, and then all of a sudden, they'll start getting into some kind of rant or diatribe about something negative or something they're trying to get from me or things like that. And you'll literally see no change in my demeanor at all, and I don't even answer the questions. I don't even hear it. You want to know why it's kind of funny? I've just had so many different people I've dated in my life who turn that way, and it goes sideways. And then you spend all this time emotionally investing into somebody, kind of building synergy with them and getting to know them and putting time in it. And then at the end of that, it ends, and what do you have left? Literally, you're just like, and then it's over. There's nothing that came from it. So from that, I said to myself, well, what did I get from all the different relationships that I've had? I think it's very spiritually uplifting. I think, relating to someone else on that higher level when you're seeing each other is very spiritually uplifting. So then I ask myself, well, if I'm going to continue to see new people at different points in my life, how do I make sure that it's very uplifting and I don't leave from it kind of burned? And what I do is I just don't take on their baggage. When you watch somebody try to give me baggage, someone I'm seeing, it's like watching an expert tap dance around it. I do it unconsciously. Like, they hug me, kiss me, we hook up. I'm like taking it all in, enjoying it, having fun. Then they bring drama, and I'm like, and then I just keep it moving. Like, it's like a slippery eel. You can't get it. You can't get me. It's hysterical to watch. Sometimes, like, I'm almost like watching it, because I don't do it on purpose. It's not intentional at this point. I've just learned, like, when somebody's feeding you drama, what are they trying to do? They're trying to load you up with negativity, and they're trying to take that negativity out of themselves and put it on you. So what I've learned is just don't even indulge. Because, funny question to ask, when you have indulged with your partner's negativity, did it really bring you closer? No. They just realize now they can do that to you. You're just the person that they can do that to now. You're the person without a boundary. You're losing your halo effect. They're not worried about, like, they know they can just throw their crap at you and you don't care. So I always want to keep the person I'm dating excited about me. I want to keep it where they value me. So I want them to understand there's a clear boundary here. The good gets in, the bad, there's a wall. You can't get me. I could read you I'm not going to do it, but I could read you so many text messages. I'm never going to do this, but I could read you so many text messages from girls that tried to, like, get in my head and, like, just say all this weird, nasty stuff to me. And you would be shocked, because honestly, if they go over a boundary, I'll just politely say, hey, that's past the boundary, but I hope that you feel better, and I hope you're doing awesome. And they're making some kind of demand for, like, more time or more this or more that, and then they may not call back for a couple days. Why do they not call back for a couple days? It's a tactic. What are they doing to you? They're testing, but what else are they doing? They're trying to just get you to get all negative and panicked. I don't panic. I keep my cool. I'll do that. They'll look at my Instagram story, and I'm just out with my friends, like completely indifferent. And they're shocked by that. They're like, why didn't it work? I've manipulated all these other guys and, got them all upset. This guy just doesn't care. When I see them, I'm like, babe, let me tell you something. I think you're amazing. I love you to death. Yeah. You will never get under my skin. Keep trying. I'm just going to have fun with you. You can get all crazy. But then I say to them, I go, but you know what else? I'm not going to dump you for this either. So feel free to act like this all you want. I'm not going to dump you because it doesn't affect me. So on the good side, I'm not going to dump you. But on the downside, I'm also not going to be affected. And once they've gone through 4 or 5 episodes like that, and they just see you're so consistent, they just fall head over heels in love with you. because they value you more now and you're getting more out of it. I completely have faith that if someone leaves me, I will just meet somebody else. I'm happy to continue with that person. My biggest thing I do in a relationship is I always want to value the person the same as I did when I first met them. And I'll tell you why. I've seen so many people do this to me where either someone I'm dating or someone I'm working with, they're first working with me, they're so excited. I got a new assistant here. This guy's beside himself. He's literally like freaking out to be assisting. It's so funny for me to watch him, right? I can't see if he's back there right now, but he's literally like freaking out. He's losing his mind. Is he back there? Yeah. Okay, all right. I should almost bring him up here to see how excited he looks, right? And I'm watching this, and to me it's like watching a cartoon because I understand how that's how a new team member starts, and then slowly but surely they just kind of go to the more, down to the mean, to the default, right? So I know that when I'm first meeting somebody that way they are at first is not the way they're gonna stay. At first what they're doing is they're giving their best. Why is that? Because they want to bait you to sort of merge with them. They want to make it where you're invested. And what happens is you get so much good emotions from that other person. What do you start doing? You start to get invested in them and even lead on them for good emotions, right? What I can do is I can keep a baseline positive emotion at this point in my life where I'm very happy. And then if someone wants to give me added emotion, I'm just like, woo, yay. But then if they go to take it away, my baseline is strong enough and stable enough that it's really not a big deal. And because I so enjoy going to meet new people, I'm like, oh, the movie ended. What's the next movie? And by the way, a lot of people, when they think of their exes, they're so salty, right? They're like, oh, I hate them, which ultimately means that they still want them. I'm not even like that. If you ask me about any ex, ask me any ex. Oh, she's amazing. She's the best. Well, if you think that highly of her, why aren't you with her? Just a great time. And I don't think any deeper about it. I remember how good it was. I have no bitterness, no saltiness, which, by the way, not to be sound nasty, but in like a creepy way, that's like the ultimate win. Not to be nasty, it's almost like the ultimate revenge. Right? How frustrating is it when you see your ex just completely winning, totally indifferent, and they're like, you're amazing. Keep winning. Right? But I'm not doing it to be mean. It's real. If I saw one of my exes winning right now or getting married to some other guy, I'd probably be in tears happy for them. I'd be like, wow, that's amazing. That's so great. Now I'll know that ex is giving hell to that guy behind the scenes, right? I know, you can't trick me, bro. I know this movie. Okay? I'm not fooled by the Instagram. I know what's behind that Instagram. But, I know what's behind door number one. So you can pretend you guys are BFF forever, but I know what's behind there. But I've learned to just take the good and be happy in my baseline, enjoy it. But if somebody gets under my skin, I'll hear them out because I could be wrong, right? We could always be wrong. So if somebody has something to say to me you could do this better or that better, I'll definitely pause and hear them out. I'll take a day or two to reflect on it and think about it. But if I can see that they're just trying to play a game, I don't get pulled in. Last point on this. Why is it that human beings do this to each other? By the way, very sad statistic. My understanding, I could be wrong, is that the majority of calls to the police is from what? Domestic violence. What is the main way that people's negativity or low vibration energy manifests from the depths of hell into the world? Their partner. Why is it? They do it with their partner because the boundary is down. The boundary is down. So if you study things like borderline personality disorder, the BP, the borderline personality, will always show the disease of the mind on a close family member, an intimate partner, a father, a son. The negative energy is all in any personality disorder. BPD, you should look that up. If you ever had a partner that's super crazy, look it up. If you're super crazy, also look it up. But part of the thing with BPD is that people with BPD don't know they have it, so you're screwed. So, I'm just kidding. So, you have, so what happens is, the BP will put that energy out on the partner because there's no boundary. So I've learned over time, I don't want to have no boundary. Because see, we think of love as this ultimate dissolution of boundaries. But where does most love end up? Most love ends up in arguments, fighting, saltiness, divorce, bitterness, or even in domestic abuse. I mean, for most of you in this room, hopefully you've never been in a domestic abuse situation, but I bet you that most of you have probably been close.
I have.
Great. Yeah, but you know what, like how many of you, for example, have had it where maybe your partner starts screaming so much in your face, they're antagonizing you to go over the edge, and then you're like, well, I'm getting out of here. And then they may even block the door. They'll block the door because they want to antagonize you to the point of you cracking. Best lesson in the world to anybody in that situation, get out of there. Cover your hands so that you can't even even if you grab to move them, that could make a mark, you're done for, you're over. So you can't even do that. You've got to just be like, and just get out of there, okay? And by the way, if someone's pushing you to that point, cut it loose, because that means they can push you to that point again. And believe me, if you go over the line, even though they push you there, it'll be you at fault. So if somebody's antagonizing you, simply cut them out of your life forever. Forever. Because they're pushing you to something that is going to ruin your life. Never, never hit a woman. Never, if you're a woman, hit a man. Never hit anybody, period. You do that, you are in so much trouble. Your life will change forever. So if you're seeing that it's getting pushed to that point, it's done. Now, from there, understand that lack of boundary, what that does, and learn to keep your boundary. Let in the good, but don't let in the bad. And then what you do is you look for win-wins, okay? You look to establish a win-win. For example, in your dating life, it could be casual, it could be open, it could be exclusive, it could be a lifelong thing, it could be a couple-month thing. I've had incredible relationships that were completely open, where we use condoms, and maybe every Thursday we go do something really fun. We go hang out, we joke around. Yeah, we'll hook up, but that's the least of it. That's the least of what I'm getting out of it. I've had other open relationships where they just come over at 1 in the morning because that's what they want to do every Wednesday. They just show up, and that's all they really want from me. They view me as a sausage with feet, and I'm completely fine with that. And we actually have fun doing that. Some of my best relationships have been like that. I'm busy, and the girl's super busy. They're crazy busy, and they just want somebody to have physical contact with while they can kind of proceed in their lives. I've also had great monogamous relationships where we're best friends, we go do things together, we have fun together, and that's nice because you don't have to use a condom. You can have great sex with a condom, but you can have even greater sex without. But you can still have great sex with a condom. I enjoy condoms because I feel like you're being safe. I like being safe. I like it. The worst feeling in the world is you hook up with someone you don't know and you didn't use a condom, and right after you finish, you're like, what was I thinking? It's the worst. It's like, it feels good in the moment, feels really good, but then after, it's the worst feeling you ever had. So I like condoms, but it's also nice to be seeing somebody where you don't have to use them, and maybe you can explore your sensuality to a higher degree, right? So it's like all of it's like really good, really, really good. But I've had many different great relationships, and what I've learned over time is if I see that that relationship has turned, I will cut it loose. Now, I'll take the feedback, I'll listen, and I'll cut it loose. So back in the day, here's what would happen. I'd start off a relationship, the first 3 to 6 months, amazing, 10 out of 10. I would completely open up, and then we'd have our first argument. No big deal. It's just an argument. Who cares? I'm not like overly uptight about that. I'm totally chill about that. Then it's good for another couple weeks, then another argument. Then the argument goes from maybe once a month to maybe twice a month to maybe 3 times a month, 4 times a month, every other day. Now, to me, when the dynamic has soured is when you can't be just together and enjoying the energy. And what you'll see is when you talk to them, they're trying to frame control you into giving them energy. So they're trying to put little boundaries up. Well, who are you talking to? What's this person doing? What's in your phone? Are you going to spend more time with me? Are you going to do this? That's not okay. Hey, you said that. And it gets, have all of us here in this room had it where a relationship goes from fun into a weird power struggle ongoing, where every little bit of communication is just someone trying to make their point, show someone their point of view, and so on and so forth. So I remember I had a number of relationships that would eventually go to that point. So as I got older, I remember I have an example I've taught of this. It was the first time I had the breakthrough. I met this girl, such a great girl. We'd always have fun. The story I've told about this is like, I don't know, like I always have like different things I'll do with different girls I'd hang out with. So I had this new crib, has like a steam room, bath, and at the end of the day, we would just go throw on like some chill out music, throw on like an Epsom sea salt pink lamp or a Himalayan pink sea salt lamp. The steam room would be going, we'd be in the tub, we'd throw coconut oil in it, we'd have sex in the tub, great music. It's like super chilled out vibe. End of the day, it's awesome, man. You know, very striking girl, you know, giving me all this attention. And my favorite part wasn't the sex, even though that's the climax, so to speak. But for me, my favorite part was the joking around. It was the fact that we're on each other's team. We care for each other. We're invested in each other. And you know, we talk about fun adventures that we want to have, right? You're sharing your life with somebody, and you want to have adventures together. You don't live forever, right? You got to make it fun. So that was my favorite part. You know, if we weren't having sex, I would have hated that, because that's just kind of like a creepy situation. Like, you know, you're naked in a tub with somebody, but you don't ever have sex, and you're kind of horny. Like, that would be kind of weird. But that was, so even though I want that, that wasn't what it was all about for me. I want that, but it's not what it was all about. It was that I could hang out with her, and it was energizing. It was that great energy that you're feeling, not when you're just having sex. Because that's what paradigm most of us are in. We're in a taker energy, and then we're just trying to get sex, right? Like when I'm talking to you here, I want to give you energy, I want you to have fun, and I want you to give me back energy. And for us to be having fun together. So you walk out of here tonight, and you're like, wow, that was amazing. I walk out, I'm like, that was amazing. It was mutually energizing. It's a win-win. That's where real synergy happens. I love that about human beings, that we can have that. And sharing your life with somebody else is so much more fun. Like, I've got this big fat crib back in LA, and I literally put another house near it where a bunch of my staff can stay in bunk beds, specifically because I like sharing that house with people. It's fun to have someone to share your life. But let me tell you, imagine being in this big room here all by yourself. You know, maybe this was like the TV back here. Or that's the TV back there, right? And you're like, hello? Hello? Big movie. All for me, right? Like when I'm alone in my house, which is not that common, but if I am, I'm like, hello, Mr. House. Just me and you. That's not cool, right? I don't want to go to some super nice restaurant by myself. I can enjoy it. I'll go to a movie by myself. I do stuff like that. I'll go on a hike by myself. But what I think makes it fun is going with somebody else. It's like a shared meaning. We're human beings. We're synergistic. That's part of our biology. Some people are such lone wolves that they're not like that. That's really cool too. But I think a lot of us are like that. So it's nice to have somebody to share it with. The problem is that we want somebody to share it with. And you know, a lot of the time guys will get this rep as being like all about sex, all about sex. I think men and women just want somebody to share their time with and to feel energized with. And it's like this weird, like, false dichotomy, like this false dynamic that like guys are all horny and like girls aren't or whatever. I think everybody generally wants the same thing. It's just that society sort of judges it a little bit differently, and for that reason people can act differently. But I think we all are human. We want the same things. So what I've learned is that I will start looking at my relationships from a synergistic standpoint of what am I getting out of this, okay? What am I getting in this relationship in the sense of, am I giving? Am I giving to someone who is receiving? They're receiving me well, and am I receiving them well? And we're gaining from this. What I learned was this. In a relationship, in the past, here's what I'd do. I'd get in it, and I'd enjoy it, and it'd be good for a few months, a little fight. Good for a week or two, another little fight, until the dynamic eroded to a power struggle. Now at this point, here's what's happening. If we're still having physical intimacy, that part's good. Frankly, when you're mad at each other, that can be even better. I hate to say it, but it's true, right? It's still super hot. And I'm addicted on the intimacy and the physical contact. But what's happening is I'm being depleted by the personality and the dynamic. So I'm being depleted by the dynamic. I'm being fed by the physical side. And now what's happening is because I'm depleted energetically, what do I have left at this point? Only one thing. What's left? The physical. So now I need them to even function because I've been lowered energetically and depleted by the toxic dynamic, but I need the physical side in order for me to feel normal. Then when you break up, not only have you been depleted, but you even lost the physical side. And now you're a wreck. So ironically, the same person that's depleting you, you begin to crave them. That's why human beings do this. We do it unconsciously. Why? So the other person can't. So the other person can't. You ever had this done to you? Bigger question, more important question, you ever done it to somebody else? You might have not known you're doing it. I had to recognize that in myself. Some of my relationships from my early 30s, I was like, that's what I'm doing. I could see I was doing that. And I was really sad about it. So I took real action to make sure that I don't bring my drama to other people. Ironically, for a lot of people, when you date them, their version of real intimacy is the fighting. is when you're like, we're going to deplete each other so neither can leave. Very bad. So part of what we're going to do this weekend, this is to get you thinking about it, between now and Saturday, I want you to be thinking about the different relationships you have in your life, business-wise, friendship-wise, dating, love, and romance-wise, and I want you to rate what you're getting from it and what it's taking. So that's going to be part of your homework.
一段关系呢，都包含着能量交换的一个过程。伴侣之间呢，会给予彼此的欢乐、满足、快乐等正面能量，但同时呢，也可能向对方倾倒这种负面的情绪。通过有意识的去过滤掉伴侣的负面情绪，不让自己被他们所影响和困扰。当我们一味的迎合和承接对方的负面情绪的时候呢，并没有真正的拉近彼此的关系，反而可能纵容了对方的情绪的倾倒，失去了自己在对方心中的特别的地位。那一段亲密关系的意义究竟是什么？如果只是不断的接收对方和处理对方的负面情绪，那这段关系未免显得太过于消耗和疲惫了。在更高层次上的链接和共振，这才是让人兴奋和向往的。我们要学会不迎合，不承担对方的情绪包袱。当伴侣开始抱怨、发牢骚的时候，或试图从你这里索取什么的时候，你要学会置之不理。就像他说的，像一条滑不溜秋的鱼一样，这些负能量无法附着在你身上。不迎合并不意味着冷漠或者是不关心对方。如果一味的付出迁就，到头来你可能一无所获。所以说，真正的爱并不是无条件的接纳和承担，而是要学会在给予的同时，也保护好自己的边界和能量。那么一个人的能量的上限呢，是关键关系的沉积。在感情里能够进入长期关系的，其实都是应该是互为关键关系的，彼此之间创造增量，而并不是依附关系。我们要去学会创造增量，去合作共赢。阿尔法男人的底层策略呢，就是合作共赢，创造增量和价值。我们在恋爱关系中呢，一定要维护好自己的边界，保持自己的独立性和吸引力。很多人之所以在感情中呢处于劣势，就是因为过度的在意对方的态度，演变成一种低质量的情感博弈。在关系中设定清晰的边界非常重要，更愿意接纳对方的好的一面，比如兴奋爱慕欣赏等等，但坚决抵制任何越界的负面的一个投射。当约会对象尝试用一些消耗你能量的话，或者是侵入你的心理的空间的时候，我们要礼貌但坚定地指出这种行为的不恰当性，同时表达我们自己的善意和关心泰勒呢，用自己和约会对象互动的一个例子，生动形象地展示了如何巧妙地应对对方的情绪操控以及各种废物测试，同时也保持自己的心理的平衡和主动权。那么如果说你也遇到了可能是情感操控或者这废物测试的例子，欢迎往我们社交光谱的读书会里面进行投稿，咱们会员会抽取精华部分去帮你去解读答疑解惑。很多时候有些女人用失联的方式来测试我们的反应，她们想看一看就是当她们突然跟你断绝联系时，冷淡你的时候，你是否会陷入恐慌和负面的情绪。但如果你选择保持冷静自若，继续过自己的生活，该干嘛干嘛，对吧？享受和朋友之间的社交，你就完全不会被对方的小把戏所困惑。不要因为对方的任性或者不成熟，就去轻易的放弃这段关系。相反，你可以用一种温和不带批评的方式，让对方意识到自己的行为对你并没有所受影响。这种宽容和自信呢，往往会让对方去更加珍惜这段关系。其实我们发现泰勒他对每段感情都是带着珍惜和感恩的之心的。无论感情是否长久，他都会全心全意的去享受和对方相处的美好的时光。即使是分手了，他也不会怀有怨恨或者苦涩，而是真诚的祝福对方。祝福不是说出于刻薄或者报复，而是发自内心的一种真诚。你明白每段感情呢，并不是一场征服和占有，而是一次灵魂的交融和成长。离开的人呢，带走的是你的祝福，可能留下的就是一些美好的回忆。我们要去享受结识新朋友的过程。在亲密关系中呢，当个人的边界消失，它会出现什么情况呢？就是负面的情绪和伤害的行为就会泛滥，甚至可能会演变成家庭暴力或者是吵架。在亲密关系中当我们面对这种逼迫和刺激的时候，一定要果断的说不，坚持的维护好自己的一个底线。如果对方还在不断的挑战你的界限，伤害你的尊严，那就应该彻底的了断这段关系，因为这已经是一种病态的或者是一种有害的相处模式了。在这种情况下，离开并不是说脆弱或者不负责任，而是保护自己，拯救自己。那一段健康的快乐的亲密关系应该有的样子是什么呢？在这段关系中我们双方不仅仅要享受肉体的亲密和欢愉， 更重要的是精神和情感上建立了真正的连接，双方都彼此关心，分享自己的生活，或者一起创造美好的回忆。其实这段关系反而让双方都感到充实、满足和精力充沛。泰勒过去的一些恋爱经历说明了那些关系虽然一开始也很美好，但慢慢的变成了一种相互去掏空彼此的状态。吵架权力斗争情绪操控这都会让双方都感到疲惫和受伤。而肉体的亲密呢，虽然能够带来短暂的欢愉，但是往往无法弥补内心的创伤和空虚，最终这样的关系往往以一方或者双方崩溃而告终。其实泰勒也深刻地剖析了这种病态的关系的一个根源，就是他指出很多人在潜意识里就会用争吵和伤害的方式来绑住对方，让对方无法离开。这其实是一种极度缺乏安全感和自我价值的一个表现。当一个人无法相信自己值得被爱，无法相信对方会真心的爱自己的时候，他们就会用这种扭曲的方式来确认和维系这份感情。但这样的关系只会带来无尽的痛苦和伤害，它耗尽了双方的心力，摧毁了彼此的尊严和信任。即使有肉体的亲密作为慰藉，但真的没有办法去填补内心的创伤和空洞。久而久之双方都会失去爱的能力，变得麻木，变得绝望，变得怨恨。这就是我们所说的爱无能。泰勒又开始反思什么是一段健康的一个关系真正的亲密关系就是不应该去消耗和控制，就是要去学会创造共赢，而不是通过伤害来绑定对方。真正的亲密关系应该是建立在相互欣赏、彼此成就的基础上。在这样的关系中，双方都能够感觉到被需要、被重视，都能从对方的身上摄取到正面的能量。这种能量不仅仅是肉体结合的这种默契，更来自于心灵的交流和滋养很多人他争吵、控制、掏空，可能这就是他们所理解的亲密。他们把伤害和爱画上等号，把摧毁当成占有的证明。每个人在本质上都渴望与他人去分享生命，去分享生活。无论说是住在大房子里，还是一起出去冒险，人都需要这种链接和共鸣。我们都渴望与他人分享体验，这就是人性的一个美好的表现。但是我们首先要成为一个自足和自爱的人，我们要学会从内心创造快乐和满足，而不是一味的从外界去索取。接下来我们会跟泰勒带大家一起探讨如何去维护个人的边界，同时在关系中保持独立的吸引性。亲密关系中更重要的是创造增量，实现合作共赢，以及如何通过练习运用不同的语音语调来提升我们的影响力。那么如果你现在已经在一段关系了，但是也遇到了上面类似的问题，可以在我们的研讨会社群里面一起聊一聊。对于兄弟们经常碰到的共性问题，我也打算在里面做出直播精讲。还是老样子，更新的内容和消息请留意咱们的公众号社交光谱。好，那我们下一集见。